گله میکنن که چرا ملت ایران میگن مرگ بر آمریکا. اولا بنده این رو برای حضرات بزرگان آمریکایی روشن کنم. مرگ بر آمریکا یعنی مرگ بر ترامپ و جان بولتون و پومپئو. مرگ بر اینا یعنی مرگ بر سردمداران. ما به مردم آمریکا کاری نداریم. مرگ بر آمریکا یعنی مرگ بر شما چندتایی که اون گروهی که دارید اداره میکنید کشورتون رو. مراد اینه. حالا در این دوره اینان، در دوره دیگر هم دیگران. بحث ملت آمریکا نیست.
So you guys actually saw that, right? Pretty sure that you saw that. Now the issue that I'm actually going through right now is that, do you really think that Kamala Harris can actually stand up against people like that? We already know that how the Obamas did. You know, the Obamas, all they did was appease them by sending them money. Now we got to worry about, you know, them actually being in the United States. The thing is that she has literally welcomed these people into this country. We have terrorists here in the United States. We're just waiting for something to actually happen. You know, we also got nut jobs out there. Got another attempt on President Trump on his life. Thing is, man, I've never been scared of anything as far as politics go than I am right now. I was actually in the service. You know, I saw the casualties of war. I saw people die. I saw people, you know, survive. But the thing is, right now, you know, it is very different than actually going abroad to actually have a war when you got soldiers here that are ready to annihilate the United States. Then we got to deal with the fact, you know, the fact of, you know, our college generation out there supporting Hamas. You got a college generation out there attacking Jews because they believe that the Jews are actually Nazis when it's the other way around. It doesn't take too much to actually frame that or to figure that one out, but apparently our younger generation is all about victimhood. So they come out, you know, talking about this stuff, and my biggest issue right now, to be honest with you, is that we're in a country right now that has been overrun by politicians that have no clue how the real world works. I had a gentleman actually ask me today, you know, when I was actually overseas, how it was. I told him straight out, I was like, you know, you're in a war zone, you got your head on a swivel, and you have to be aware of everything in there. And he says, how do you deal with people that died? I said, well, you know, when you got bullets flying at you, you know, if you have enemies actually trying to basically annihilate you and everybody that is in your command, you don't really have time to grieve. It's kind of like your animal instinct actually becomes to the forefront. Your animal instinct to survive is fight or flight. The thing is, it only takes a millisecond. You know, a lot of these people think it's like the movies, you know, where you go in there and you got enough time to escape. Thing is that when you're in a foreign country, you know who your enemies are. So why am I concerned about the United States? Because we don't know who our enemies are. We don't. We don't know who they are. They have also infiltrated this country, and the sad thing is we also have Americans that were born in this country fighting against anybody in power. I've never seen so many incidents of people actually being attacked for wearing a hat that says Trump on it or MAGA. You guys complain about how we live our lives and stuff like that, but we hardly ever actually go into the melee of you guys in your little sessions, circling, jerking each other off with no outside opinions. We welcome, you guys, if you want to actually talk in a civilized manner, go over it. But if you don't, the next thing you're going to do is be throwing up these things. You end up in Chingaslo time. Now, I want to ask you guys, and I'm going to make this video short. I want to ask you guys, do you really think Kamala is up to actually dealing with Ayatollah, Putin, Netanyahu? You know that she totally avoided him. And the sad thing, the sad state of affairs right now, we just found another Democrat operative with a spy from China all over again. You guys forgot about Dianne Feinstein 20 years. You guys forgot about Eric Swalwell with his Fang Fang affair that he had. Now we got another one that was actually head of staff. Head of staff. And this lady literally turned away Taiwanese officials that needed to talk to the president or talk to that congressman to actually get the news out that, Taiwan's hanging on by a thread. And they're watching us here in the United States. And I'm going to tell you right now, those people are afraid. They're afraid for their families. Because all it takes is one good kickoff, man, to start the whole ball and chain. You got alliances now with Russia, working with the Saudis to actually change, or no, actually it's China with the Saudis trying to change the petrodollar into gold standard. You got the United States being driven away from not only gold standards, no longer that. They went to petro under, I guess it was Bush, maybe, or somebody else besides that. The petrodollar is actually instated, maybe in the Nixon administration. I don't know which administration. The thing is that we left the gold standard in the reserve. Being honest with you, it's not even a federal agency, the National Reserve, that runs our bankers and our banks. They don't have gold there anymore. So you got all these people telling you to buy cryptocurrency and, gold standard, put your savings in that. The only out that I actually see right now with everything that's going on is to actually be armed and have plenty of ammo in your house. I'm not telling you don't go for your gold, don't go for your food. What I'm saying is that if you got your food stores, you got your gold, with everything that's going down, you might just want to have a weapon in your house. I have a law enforcement background in the Navy. I was a Navy patrol officer in Santa Rita, Guam. And basically, like any other institution, we have bad actors within the Navy. And basically, we have the same issues that happen here in the States. Because we're all American, we're accustomed to our customs, and sometimes, we lose our sensibilities, we end up acting out. But with all this stuff, all this strife that's going on right now, I go to the gym and half the people in the gym don't even know what's going on. I actually talked to a few guys, that were in the middle of the late teens, and they had no idea that Trump was actually in the crosshairs once again, and they didn't know anything about it. You know, they try to live their lives, and I go in there. I see that a younger generation, what they're doing right now is they're taking sound bites from other people that they consider to be smarter than they are. But in all actuality, they're just parroting what other people are actually saying. Now, I noticed this generation change with my own children. My youngest child, I remember back when she was actually in seventh grade. She's an adult now. She was back in seventh grade. I ran into one of her friends who was actually going through the sex change thing. This kid was about 6'5" and 300 and something friggin' pounds. And my daughter wanted me to sit there and be kind to this guy. I ended up not talking. We're at this Japanese restaurant out here. I ended up just, letting her talk her own piece. But me accepting it, there was no way I would actually do that. I don't know anything about these kids. I don't know what's actually happening to them, but they are completely different beings than what I actually dealt with. And this is why I call myself the angry Gen Xer. Because I put my life, my mental state. I went through a bad divorce because of the military. It was actually pretty good while I was actually in there because, I had time away from my spouse at that point. But all these things, I don't care if you have that mindset where you can separate it. I'm not one of those people. Not one of those people. I'm more like the person that would rather have brutal honesty than, being patronized. And that's one thing I see in the Democrat Party right now. They're just patronizing their own voters. There's no real substance in Kamala Harris's speech. There's no real substance being talked about. A lot of people are asking Trump, what are you going to do? He already did it. Everything that he's going to do in this administration, he already did in the last one. Everything. And what I saw is this man right here that we have on the screen, this Ayatollah in the background. When Trump was in office, the guy was scared of him. And all the proxies with it, the people that actually worked with Iran to get weapons, like the leader of Hamas, where he actually sat down, put a picture down and says, hey, you want to mess around? I know where your family lives. And this is life. So you can go ahead and act a fool and everything like that, and you think that we can't touch you because we're here in the United States. Well, guess what? That worked back then, but now they're actually here. They're your neighbors. If you think that only Hispanics came over, or the recent surge of migrants that we got in Ohio right now, Springfield, if you think that they're just from these other countries, these countries like Haiti, South America, they're coming from all over the damn place. And we already know that we have bad actors here in the United States, just like this guy that was out on the fence line while Trump was golfing with an assault rifle, GoPro, so you could actually film it. This is where we live. And the thing is, if you don't stand up, to these people, you just put them through because they didn't hurt your feelings, like Kamala is like known for not hurting people's feelings. When it comes to the left, what are we going to do once these people that are actually there channeling death in America are actually here in the United States? We already see Hamas going out of the woodwork because of what's going on in Israel. To be honest with you, I don't blame Israel for wanting to annihilate Gaza totally. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. But the thing is somebody actually murdered my children at a concert. Sure as hell I ain't going to be giving aid to the people that actually killed my kid. Screw them. I've heard it before, and I'm probably going to get axed. I just started this channel right now. But I got to say one thing. You got to be savage when it comes to war. That's the only way that anything actually gets taken care of. You got to be a total savage. We've actually had leaders on stage in the United States saying that you got to take out the entire family of these people. The thing is that if you think about it, let's say, some of you lost loved ones in war or whatever, and the kids get affected by it. And when they see another, tragedy going on befalling our soldiers in the United States, a lot of these kids are like, that killed my fucking dad. They become what the Democrats call radicalized because they're tired of seeing fellow Americans getting slaughtered in the battlefield while politicians make up their minds and send us into areas that we shouldn't have been in the first place. The sad thing is that now we have a weak leader that isn't even a leader. We got Kamala out there doing her speeches, but nobody knows who's running the United States. And I'm going to tell you right now, those people in that audience, they know what's going on over here. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to bypass your love for Kamala and vote for her anyway? I'm going to say this again. Those people on this screen, right here, those people on this screen are here in the United States. They're here. They don't need us to go overseas to fight them. They're here within the United States. So you may think, oh, I'm safe because I live here in bumfuck Arizona like I do. There's no way any of this is going to hit me. Well, it's going to. It's just a matter of time. And while we're here infighting with our own country, these people are actually finding out ways to actually damage us, not only on social media, but by force and violence. We see it in the schools. I see high school kids walking around with that friggin' garb that Arabs wear. I don't care what country you're from, but once you're in the United States, you become an American citizen. These people hate you too. I don't think Kamala's ready. I don't think she's ready at all. I don't think she has any kind of common sense. When she can't even talk to her own American public without, earpieces, earrings, without a teleprompter, without people giving her speeches. And, it sounds like a broken record when you ask her about her policies, and it's basically been repeated from a news interview that she had a couple of years ago. It's the same friggin' policies all over again. And she's talking about like she's going to run it. But the thing is, the policies, there's no substance. She doesn't tell you how. She tells you what she wants to do, but she doesn't give out any examples how. And then they use that rhetoric and they go and they throw it on Trump. Just throw it on him. and ask him what he's going to do. Well, I believe, in 2021, president was in office. 2022, or no, actually, I got that mixed up. Let me go back again. Let me redo that. 2016, he gets elected. 2017, he starts serving. 2018, 2019. Then we get hit with the pandemic right before he left office. But the thing is, do you think America would have survived after the pandemic if it wasn't for him? Then day one, Joe Biden comes in. And it just destroys everything. And I'm going to bring up the gold standard again. Our gold standard is actually lying below our feet right now here in the United States. I haven't heard anything about the XL pipeline coming back. Because all the adversaries over in Europe, we could be selling them oil and natural gas to our allies at a better price than what the Iranians are doing or Russia's doing. Because these European countries, once our allies, are actually beholden to our enemies. And they want to go and annihilate Russia, Putin, really? You guys, we keep on sending armaments, but what you don't realize is that Russia is a nuclear power. They have nukes, and so does China. They got nukes. Pretty soon, these people in the middle right here, if we keep on sending them funds and funding them like we have been, and all the oil that they've been selling on the market, because Biden opened up that damn can of worms, they're earning money. And pretty soon, they're going to have the power to actually annihilate us all. I'm going to put a little bit of Bible in this. The thing is, the Quran explicitly tells these people to kill everybody that's a non-believer, to actually annihilate them, kill them. And we already see, suicide bombers, seeing people in airplanes crash, killing thousands of civilians. See these people running through, just like the 13 soldiers that got hit with the bomb. The guy that actually had the bomb died too. Because in their belief system, they actually believe that martyrdom leads them into heaven. And they're willing to die for their beliefs. Unlike the United States, we all talk shit. When it comes down to it, all we got is talking shit. And these people, like this man up there, is taking action against us while we sleep. So all I'm saying is open your eyes. Kamala is not the right choice. She should not be in there. And that's all I got to say about it.